Today I want to talk to you about habits. And building habits is something that we do. I think as human beings, we are creatures of habit. And you find that many people you would know, including yourself, like to do certain things at a certain time and do it in a certain way. So that's how we are as human beings. We are creatures of habit. There's a book I was reading called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And this book it just changed so many things in my life, because I just realized that whenever we're trying to change habits, whenever we're coming up with New Year's resolutions or saying this is the path we want to go, we always have these BHAGs, which are big, hairy, audacious goals. And these goals might even seem very daunting, when you now look at it at the beginning of the year, or whenever you're trying to get to a certain stage in your life, and then you lose the momentum along the way because probably that goal is just so big. But this book, Atomic Habits, it has taught me to understand that habits change with little changes. All you need to do is to make little changes in your life. Many people, including myself, are used to doing things in a certain way, and you hear people say, that's my personality, that's who I am, that's how it is, that's how it's always been, because we are creatures of habit and we want to do things the way we want and we don't want to change. But if you want to make meaningful changes in your life, in your marriage, in your family, in your relationships, in your work, in your career, it takes a single decision, because they say that there's nothing more powerful than a mind that is made up. If you make up your mind that I want to make this change and these are the changes I want to put in place in my life, and then you start looking at how can I make these changes in little steps. Because something as simple as, I'll give you an example of what I do myself. I used to watch movies in the evening after work or whatever the case may be, and it's probably 2 hours of binging or watching a series or whatever it is. But I realized that if I have goals that I want to achieve, I can't now say that I don't have time to get those things done when I have time to watch Netflix. So by changing that specific habit, where at the same time that I would have used to watch Netflix, now I probably use it to study something that I want to work towards education-wise, or something that I want to do in terms of my spiritual growth and things that I want to achieve in terms of some targets that I've put upon myself. I use that same time to build a positive habit. And that's the power of making those small changes. And if we are able to look around ourselves and see that the things that we have put in as who we are, what are the positive things? What are the negative things? And with those negative things that you've created for yourself, for example, maybe you don't like communicating with people and you don't answer people's phone, or you don't answer messages that people have written to you, or maybe you're the kind of person that, you eat late at night and you do it repetitively, or maybe you just don't show up for meetings on time, or you don't get to places on time. These are bad habits that you really shouldn't be entertaining. By removing those bad habits and replacing them with positive habits, discipline yourself to say, if I want to get to a meeting on time, I need to wake up 30 minutes early. If I want to be able to achieve a certain goal regarding, people calling me and returning their call, I make it a habit that in the first hour, I would either send a message to say, I'm sorry, I'm tied up, but I can't attend to your call. I will get back to you later. Put it in your diary and get back to that person, because it shows that you are somebody that considers other people, and you're building positive habits where people around you will start understanding that you are who you are, you say what you mean. And changing these habits in your marriage, things that you've done that have never been positive for your marriage, things that you've done that have not been positive for your family, relationships with your children, with your friends, and all the work colleagues around you. Change these little habits and make sure that as you change the habits, just like you look at that man and that woman in the mirror, you're not blaming everybody else for not being where you're supposed to be, but you only look at yourself and you blame yourself for not changing the habits that you know are not good for you.